I think that all the streamers are going to jump in on verticals at some point. I think they have to, because right now Netflix only has your attention when you are at home, sitting on your couch with your TV on. And every other time of your day, they don't have you. And what these vertical companies have figured out by making schlock content, and I don't mean that as an insult, but by making the kind of junk food that you watch while you're in line at the bank, or while you're pooping, or while you're, waiting for the bus, or on your smoke break, like this quick consumable content, they have you everywhere, even when you're sitting on your couch at home, because a lot of people I have heard will just sit and watch because they're consumable, just the same way that you're like, oh, I'm just gonna have one more chip, and then you eat the entire bag and maybe go for a second bag. They have your attention all the time, and that is just a missed opportunity for Netflix or Hulu or these guys.
Yeah, even as you're going into it, my wheels are always starting spinning. They're spinning. And so, not to name drop, but an individual I know at Netflix, in the background he runs in, which is competition reality. And just what vertical could be when we're talking about different, niches. So if there's the romance and then horror, reality in the sense of competition that you're coming back to swipe, for your next 50 cents to see. And so I guess it would be, how do you maintain keeping it private? Anyway, it's just there's so much to be done in that space that Netflix can take a walk from the couch.
Yeah, and that's the thing is for Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or whatever of these companies, there's absolutely no reason to not do these verticals.
Well, and presumably they're already having conversations, no?
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
But
that's what my resume. I'm available.
That's where I see things going. Is I think that the big streamers will dominate this game, because what they have that Real Shorts and Drama Box and so forth and so on don't is IPs. They can do a Stranger Things spinoff. They can do a Bridgerton spinoff or a Star Wars, Star Trek spinoff. And those will just, you want to talk about how to get the guys watching these, like, boom, that immediately.
100%.
You could do a little Mission Impossible stunt, focused little series. And if it's got that Mission Impossible or some other Bond or something brand on it, it's gonna grab you. It's gonna be worth watching. And as soon as those guys, the reason that I think that those guys are going to jump in with 2 feet and big time, because look at what they spent on Electric State. Like, this is pennies to them. This is like a write-off. Like, if they accidentally lost the amount of money that it costs to make 10 of these verticals, no one would lose their job over losing that much money, type of thing. Like, I'm sure they actually would, but exaggerating. It's like, and it is advertising, because if a small amount of people find the main show through the vertical, done, or just banner ads, or like,
or even as you describe IP, the fact that they already have the ecosystem in place for the consumer that isn't already a vertical consumer, they got an email, but then too, they can introduce a commercial that they're going to show somebody something that they didn't already know. They have the biggest market share of that already. Yeah.
And just while somebody's out on the go, get brand familiarity, getting that, like, showing them about this movie that's coming out, or about this thing. Or I'm sure Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and Apple and whatever, Disney Plus will, like, they've got the relationships with advertisers that these Chinese companies only wish that they had.
Right.
And the other thing, like, as far as IPs, so what Netflix and these streaming services are starting to have happen is years between seasons. And there's a huge drop off as a result, unless you're Game of Thrones or something like that. There's a massive drop off of people from one season to the next, to the next, to the next, because especially when you're talking about a gap of a year or two or three or whatever, to wrangle your stars all back up to get that next season shot. This is a way of keeping people's interest very, very cheaply. That has not been tapped, and it's also it's just cheaper, thriftier filmmaking, and I think that what verticals are proving, and I think we talked about this a little bit before, but audiences don't care. I remember being in college with and watching a movie with my at the time girlfriend, and telling her roommate, like, oh, we watched it, and talking about the cinematography, and she was like, the what? We were like, cinematography,
Yeah.
how, and she's like, you guys are so weird. And that's how, like, normal people, they don't even think about cinematography. They think about the characters, they think about the story. And that's about it. And you can be so much thriftier. And there's just, I think that there's just a place for the thrifty style filmmaking that these verticals are bringing to the table, that the streaming services would benefit from to an extreme degree.